What's up, guys? CJ here, and welcome back to another all-new episode of Super Friends, this time for episode 105. I'm joined, as always, by the usual suspects, Luke.
Hey guys, what's up?
And Tim.
Yeah, how's it going, everyone? And I think we're actually on 104 right now, because we did Green Lantern last week.
Let's talk about Justice League, the big one coming up in just a few short weeks. Justice League. One of the big questions fans have had, basically, since this movie was announced, basically, was how long is it going to be? Now, none of the DCEU movies have been particularly short thus far. I mean, I think the shortest to date has been probably Wonder Woman. I think it was 140 minutes. But all of them usually pretty long, especially BVS, which was already very long, and then has the longer, extended Ultimate Cut. Believe it or not, Justice League, the big team-up movie, is going to be the shortest DC movie to date. And this comes to us straight from some people that would know. The theater chains, AMC and Regal, both independently confirming the Justice League runtime is, drumroll please, 121 minutes. Now, there are also some alternate reports saying 119 minutes. I think that's the more recent figure, but it's a difference of 2 minutes, so I don't think it really matters. That's 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, or a little under 2 hours, give or take about 60 seconds, literally. So, what do you guys make of this? Is this the shortest movie in the DCEU? Is arguably the biggest in terms of scope. Is this concerning to you? Is it a good thing? What are your first reactions to this news?
I'm fine with it. I mean, it's better than it being overblown and bogged down by unimportant things.
Yeah.
Luke, what do you think?
I think it's good. I think that well, the way I see it is where it is now, because it's, as a movie in terms of its narrative, it's not like BVS had a narrative that really, I guess, kind of needed all 3 fucking hours to explain itself.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of moving parts.
There was a lot in that movie. And Justice League, it's not really that, because it's like the one central thing stops Steppenwolf from fucking everything up.
Yeah.
So 2 hours keeps that very focused, and it lets us, I think people might be concerned maybe with the character stuff, because I know that people have been getting upset about it. I think maybe because there's so many new characters to introduce in this, like half the team.
Yeah, 100%.
More than half,
I
guess.
See, that's my biggest concern is, can we introduce all these new characters, like Jason Momoa's Aquaman, Ezra Miller's Flash, Ray Fisher's Cyborg? Can we introduce all of these new characters and the villain, set them up well enough for us to really, for the audience, and not the fanboy audience like us, or even people that are more fanboys of this kind of thing, and specifically the DCEU, for those that needed clarification on that. But for a casual audience, can we set these characters up enough to really make them care? That's my biggest concern, is in 119 minutes, but the question is, of course, then, will the casual audience even really care? I think right. that's critics might have something to say about it. Fans might feel like there wasn't enough done. Like, if we don't get a ton of backstory on Cyborg or Flash, fans don't care. But I think, because I keep thinking back to the Avengers, and and really, we didn't get much about Black Widow in that movie. We didn't learn much about Hawkeye in that movie. They basically were just there they existed to, serve parts in the film, to be in the movie, basically.
I mean, Hawkeye was a zombie for the majority of that film.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that was a big knock on it. It was a big knock on it.
Yeah, for the most part. And, well, okay, so, the key thing I think here is because, this movie already has a good leg up, because it has Batman and Wonder Woman are pretty much already established. She had her own movie. Batman had a huge change of heart in BVS, so there's not much that we have to go on there. I mean, I'm not of the mind that you really need a whole lot of time to introduce someone.
That's true.
I feel like if you can do it well, their actions will speak for themselves. I don't need to know about every single little detail about the backstory of the Flash and how he came to be. Yeah. All I need to know is that he's been around for a little bit. He's still kind of new to everything, and he's like the youngest, one of the younger members of the team, and he's just trying to keep up. So
Exactly.
And I mean, like, again, I'm not of the mindset that you need like a huge amount of time devoted to each of these characters to really get a hold of who they are. If the writing is there, then it's not really going to matter.
Yeah, because I have the same thing with that. Like, we don't need their entire life story to understand who they are as characters.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, I'm kind of that thinking as well. I'm a little concerned that that'll be the knock, as, if there's a knock on it from some critics, whether they're professional or the casual viewing audience critics, I think that'll, we didn't get enough of this, we didn't get enough of that, and people will ultimately point to the runtime, but I feel like we already kind of have a good idea of where they're going with these characters. Like, Cyborg is going to be coming to grips with the fact that he's now more machine than man, and specifically probably the fact that he's made out of apocalyptic technology and they're fighting people from Apocalypse, or Mother Box, I guess. We'll learn more about that. That might be something that I'm just speculating about. The Flash, it's going to be him learning how to be a hero, finding purpose, I guess, in the League. So there's stuff they can do. I think the real key is going to be selling the villain, and that's kind of a big question. What's funny is I realized as I was posing the question earlier, I was like, man, for a lot of us fans, it feels like we know a lot about these characters. I realize more than the casual audience, we feel like we know a lot more about Ezra Miller's Flash. We feel like we know a lot more about Jason Momoa's Aquaman because we've just been following this stuff for years.
Right.
Even though they haven't actually officially appeared on screen yet, which kind of just...
they have officially appered on screen twice. For Flash, at least.
Yeah. For Flash, he has been very briefly on screen multiple times. 3 times. But what were you going to say, Luke?
Well, I was going to say in terms of Steppenwolf, I mean, even if he's not, like, this Shakespearean kind of character, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, he's mostly there to swing an axe. Like, I can kind of come to terms with that because
he has an axe.
The big selling point. The big selling point here, I think, is mostly to sell this superhero team to the audience.
Basically, his only role is to be big, strong guy that would realistically require Superman and Wonder Woman to fight him together, as opposed to being able to do it on their own.
Yeah,
that's true.
And again, we have the Parademon. This is like this big swarm. They're just kind of cannon fodder, like the Chitauri were. So I mean, for the most part, if it sells me the Justice League, I am totally fine with that. I can look past Steppenwolf maybe getting the shaft because, he's cool, but to be honest, there's a lot cooler new gods than Steppenwolf.
And if they don't give enough time to anything in particular, it's not going to be the runtime's fault because most children's movies can engage audiences in 90 minutes. If they can do that, I don't get why having a shorter running time would mean they'd have to leave stuff out.
Well, we'll see. There is going to be an ultimate cut that was confirmed.
Hopefully they don't cut the resolution of a plot line this time.